Welcome to the Winchester Life Podcast. Through insider access to industry pioneers, first-hand looks at cutting-edge tech advancements, and the stories behind the scenes that have shaped the world of shooting sports and hunting as we know it, we'll dive into the sacred places like deer camps and duck blinds, talk about innovation and shooting tips with the world's best, while revisiting age-old traditions of hunting and shooting still alive in our country. I'm your host, Jason Brown, and welcome to the show. The Winchester Life Podcast is brought to you by Winchester Ammunition, Winchester Repeating Arms, Winchester Safes, White Flyer Targets, Folds of Honor, Birchwood Casey, Walkers, Winchester Pet, and Winchester Optics. While SHOT Show is a kickoff to a new year with new product offerings, it's also a celebration of another year in the books. On the third day of SHOT, about 180 of Winchester's employees, media partners, and industry professionals gathered in an outdoor venue right on the Vegas Strip for the Winchester After Party. As the sun set and the stories began to flow, we sat down with a handful of partners and talked about everything from whitetail deer to Kodiak Island waterfowl to the latest and greatest from partners like Kids and Clays. Sit back and be part of this week's episode, live from the Winchester After Party. All right, we're live at the SHOT Show After Party with Winchester. I got Chris and Casey Keefer with me, and sitting with us is Zach from Kids and Clays.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. So tell me about Kids and Clays. What's your focus?
Sure, yeah. So Kids and Clays is a series of sporting clay shoots all over the country, benefit Ronald McDonald houses. What's unique about it is mostly corporate outing. Obviously Ronald McDonald Houses is an opportunity close to children's hospitals or St. Jude's hospitals or hospitals that mostly deal with youth. Mm-hmm. Gives a family a place, a home away from home, essentially. So the essentials of, washing, drying clothes, meals, beds. It allows the parents to really stay close to their children while they're in the hospital healing. Yeah. Been around since 1999. Owner-operator Glenn and Kathy Lebesnick decided to host the first sporting clay shoot for the Ronald McDonald House in Chicagoland. Raised about $27,000 net. Fast forward to 2024. Obviously, we're rolling into 2025. About 7,000 participants now. Wow. 47 events in 23 states, and about $5.2 million in 2024 raised for the Ronald McDonald Houses.
That's amazing.
Place. So it's been very fortunate to be a part of it. Love it. Just really happy and having people like Winchester.
Yeah, I mean, talk about that relationship with Winchester. I know they've been a partner since probably the beginning or pretty darn close.
The original sponsor of Kids and Clays, actually. Dick Hammett, who knew Glenn very well and still knows Glenn very well. Glenn reached out to Dick about the opportunity to possibly have a sporting clay shoot to benefit, and Dick and Winchester jumped right on. And since then, 25, 26 years later, still a huge partner in what we do and helping us advance to what we do now.
And how many thousands of lives benefited?
A lot.
I mean, that's
numerous amounts. Yeah, thousands.
When it comes to the size of the events and the size of the stuff that you guys are doing, like how many participants would a normal event get?
Yeah. So what's interesting about Kids and Clays in general and how those work is some of the markets are smaller. So sure, we have events in Chicago. Yep. Mm-hmm. We have events in Nashville. We have events in California and New York and all that. But we also have Columbia, South Carolina, right. Smaller markets. So some events can be anywhere from about 120 to 550. Yeah. Just depends. And what's really unique, and I remember at a board meeting, we have a couple Ronald McDonald House executives that are that run houses that are on the market or on the board, to help explain how important some funds are. Some funds at $30,000 might be the most that they make, in a year of any fundraisers. Yeah. Others make $200,000 or $300,000. Yeah. So we're very unique, and we don't have to necessarily look at how big our events need to be, but mostly just the impact of what we do and how it helps us in that area.
Yeah.
Yep. So how do you give to Ronald McDonald House? How do you guys raise funds?
Yeah, so me specifically, my boss, we come from the outdoor industry, both backgrounds in this, and we work with companies like Winchester, companies like Browning, and try to get them to donate to the foundation. Once they commit to the foundation, we then have a warehouse, and we actually distribute all of the ammunition, firearms, any merchandise that we make. We give them a merchandise package. It allows us to give those to the houses, so they have committees, and they work on just getting local sponsors and local participants to participate. So we kind of eliminate all the other things that they may be spending a bunch of time on. But that's kind of how that. Long story short.
Yeah, no, and that makes sense. What's an event look like from start to finish for a day?
Yeah, so most events are typically on a Friday. No one ever told their boss no that they're going to go shoot on a work day.
Exactly.
So that works out really well for us.
That's good.
But typically morning, so you got breakfast, you got registration. Like I said, majority of these are corporate outings, so company-based. You sign up, register. We have a safety talk. What's really unique about us, like I said, with sponsors like Winchester, we provide 100% of the ammunition at the event. We provide loaner firearms. We provide merchandise. We also provide a shooter gift. So no one has an excuse not to come. It doesn't matter if you shoot all the time or if you've never shot before. All you have to do is come, and we provide everything else. You'll go and do a sporting clay shoot. Anywhere from 10 to 18 stations. Do the rotation. Do that. We then usually have a lunch program. The house gets an opportunity to talk about, their mission and what the impact is, along with all the sponsors and everybody that's there.
Yeah.
Sometimes we have a rotation in the afternoon. It just depends on how big it is.
Depends on how big it is.
Yeah.
I love the fact that you eliminate the excuses. Just show up.
No excuses.
Just show up.
Show up and get her done.
That's cool. That's really cool.
Well, that's awesome, man. It's an incredible organization. Where can people find you? Like, where do you want them to go to? Check it out on social media. Where's that at? I know we're going to be doing some Winchester Life stuff. We're going to be coming down and filming with you, so we're excited to have that. You can check that out. But where can people find you?
Yeah, so you can go to our website, kidsandclays.com. Has all of our event schedule. Also has the impact of, what we do and how we do it, but also the impact of companies like Winchester. You can see everybody who supports us, and we certainly support them. Like I said, has the whole event schedule. We have an Instagram account, Facebook account, all those things. Pretty easy to find.
Awesome.
Cool. Great. Zach, thanks for stopping by.
Yep.
Have a great shot.
Enjoy the rest of this awesome event.
Absolutely.
This portion of the Winchester Life podcast has been brought to you by Winchester Ammunition, a world leader in delivering innovative products. Winchester is the American legend, a brand built on integrity, hard work, and a deep focus on its loyal customers. Considered one of the world's leading ammunition manufacturers, Winchester has built its reputation on delivering innovative ammunition products, providing top-shelf customer service, and demonstrating industry leadership. To learn more, visit winchester.com. Winchester Optics. The Winchester Supreme line of optics offers rifle scopes, binoculars, spotting scopes, and rangefinders for all of your shooting and hunting needs. To learn more, visit worldofwinchester.com. Winchester Repeating Arms. The guns that work with a reputation built on reliability. Winchester rifles and shotguns are built tough, with superior fit and finish. Winchester firearms are built to exceed expectations. To learn more, visit winchesterrepeatingarms.com.
All right, Adam, good to see you, man. It's been a
good
long
to see
time.
You guys.
Haven't seen you since we got our butts kicked chasing turkeys in Michigan.
Boy, we really got our butts kicked too. I hate Michigan for a variety of reasons, being a Penn State fan, but I have one more reason now
there you go.
to hate it even more, and that's because of the stupid turkeys that you guys have.
There you go.
Well, Casey, you say we, but I was unfortunately the one that we're hunting together.
Yeah.
You got
I should
birds.
exclude myself from that.
That's right.
Yeah.
Actually, we killed, so I don't know what we're talking about here.
Again, I hate Michigan.
Yeah.
So to backtrack, this was so you came up and a couple others for really the media launch of Longbeard TSS.
That's
and
right.
We did a lot of pattern board testing, and we actually turkey hunted up there. But recently launched, just at the show here, officially launched Longbeard TSS. Let's talk about the hunt.
Well, I'll tell you, we did not kill turkeys, and it wasn't because of the ammunition. I can guarantee you that.
No, it was the guide. I'll say it. It was the guide.
He said it out loud.
Sorry. I just tried.
Had we gotten a turkey to respond or to be within range that we could have shot at, I can guarantee you we would have killed that bird.
Yeah.
I mean, that load was awesome. That Longbeard TSS. I mean, shoot, we were shooting 28 gauges and 410s.
Yeah.
I was hunting with a 28 gauge.
Yeah, you had the 28. Yep.
I'd never killed a turkey with a 28. I was kind of hoping to kill one in Michigan.
Still haven't.
With a 28.
So I don't know. We're going to call an audible here.
Yeah.
I don't know that he knows this, but after he left the 28 gauge,
70 yards.
No
Smoked him.
way.
I got it on a GoPro.
Yeah.
70 yards with the 28. I swear. I couldn't believe it. I had to step it off.
Yep.
Yeah.
I believe it.
Yeah.
Because
28.
I mean, and that's, it's awesome to talk about, but we tested it.
Yeah.
At that range.
Yeah, we
so
did.
we knew
Yeah.
that TSS load, Longbeard TSS load would be a killing load at that range.
we had the pattern boards to prove it.
Yep.
I think that first
Absolutely.
shot when we hit, we're all like, dang. Wow. And then it did it consistently, and we're like, wow, this is a real thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot about a 410, and the 410's awesome, but the 28 gauge is a pretty sweet spot.
Ridiculous, man.
Yeah.
That's cool.
What is it that impresses you most about Longbeard TSS?
The results.
Yeah.
For sure. I mean, like you said, we had them on the patterning board. And that's you always have to do that with a load. You know?
You got to pattern.
Chokes, guns, loads. You got to test it. And when you see that, then you've got so much confidence in your load, and that is what impressed me was just the performance.
Yeah.
I don't know. We didn't count pellets because we had birds to try to kill. But,
But pellets on bird downrange was incredible, and we did side by side comparison. The Longbeard XR still amazing, still crazy, but when you start putting TSS in there, I mean, it was amazing,
especially in those gauges, the 28 and the 410.
And it's 9-shot, and you're able to put 3-4 times more shot in your shot shell, and it's more energy, more pellets downrange. It's pretty incredible.
Well, when you see results like that, you don't really have to count pellets.
Yeah,
that's the thing. Like you know right away that you're going to kill a bird.
Yeah,
40, 50, 60.
70
yards if you're Chris.
I was guiding.
Yeah, he was guiding again.
Yeah, I was guiding again.
We should throw this out there. So obviously you're with OSG, Game and Fish Magazine. Did you do article stuff from the hunt up there, and are you kind of putting any of that stuff out?
Yeah, I mean we're doing a whole write-up on Longbeard TSS.
Okay, cool.
So we had to wait until it was
official.
Officially
Isn't that hard?
But it is hard. It is hard because I want to let our readers and our followers and our audience know that there is this awesome new turkey load out there.
Yep.
Finally, from Winchester. Finally, Winchester has TSS.
Yep.
Yeah.
That they could put to use this spring. So I'm excited to get that out there.
Yeah,
that's always one of the hardest things is we work on a lot of these launches with Winchester and guys like you, and it's like we learn about it in May and we go do our thing, and then we're January, like 9 months later here, whatever it is, here we are, and the public just finds out about it. So it's hard to stay tight-lipped for that long.
Yeah, for
How
sure.
was your fall?
It was fun.
Yeah.
I went to Oregon and shot a really good Columbia whitetail in Oregon, but the most fun I had was taking my son on his first big game Western hunt.
Oh, that's awesome.
14 years old, went out to central Montana and killed a really nice, I'm jealous.
Yeah.
A really nice mule.
I saw a picture of it. It's solid.
Yeah, I mean, that boy does not know how lucky he is. I was 30 years old before I got a chance to go do a hunt like that.
From the sounds of it, what your wife said, he's just a lucky. He's got a horseshoe up his butt.
He does. Yeah. He's killed some really good whitetail in Pennsylvania. Again, bigger buck than I've ever shot in PA.
What are you doing, man?
Yeah, I know. I'm spoiling the boy.
Yep, he's spoiled.
Yep.
Too funny.
Awesome.
But no, it was fun. It was a good season.
This year I should say, this next season, what do you have lined up? Anything for turkey?
Yeah, I got probably an Osceola hunt lined up.
Yeah.
It's been probably 10 years, I think, since I've hunted Osceolas. So that's going to be fun. Hopefully get together, hunt with you guys.
Yes.
I know we're doing a project at OSG called Turkeys C2C. So we're going to kill all 4 subspecies of birds in the U.S.
Oh, great.
And I'm going to try to get one done on public land in PA. We'll see how that works.
Yeah.
He's like, what? We're going to hunt public land? I'm like, well, yeah. We're going to give it. We're going to
for a morning.
For
one roost hunt, maybe.
Hey, we hunted public land.
We did. We struck that bird up.
Public land birds in Michigan are more responsive than the private land birds.
They were those 3 days, and 2 days later, Woody took a hunter and they killed that bird.
Yep.
Into the same spot he hung up on us at.
Yep.
I honestly think that they just winded JB. So, I think that's
great
what it
chance.
is. Yeah, those turkeys are just winding you.
They do that.
I can guarantee I winded JB.
All right, brother. Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, man. It's good to see you guys.
Yeah,
Thanks
nice to see you here.
Excited to see what Longbeard TSS can do this spring.
Yeah, so are we, man.
It's going to be great. Thanks, buddy.
Enjoy the rest of the show.
This portion of the Winchester Life podcast has been brought to you by Winchester Safes. Built with reliability and dependability, Winchester Safes offers proven security for your memories, possessions, and most importantly, your peace of mind. Visit winchestersafes.com to learn more. White Flyer Targets. For more than 130 years, White Flyer has provided the highest quality clay target for trap, skeet, and sporting clays. White Flyer, America's best. Birchwood Casey. Since 1948, serious shooters, avid collectors, and professional gunsmiths have relied on Birchwood Casey for shooting and gun care products that have stood the test of time. To learn more, visit birchwoodcasey.com.
So we got Matt Drury Outdoors sitting next to us here. Matt, what's up, man?
What's happening, bro?
I mean, we're sitting here on the strip. I look behind us. You see kind of the Vegas Strip and the line of the buildings. The sun's setting right now. We got a room with 80 to 100 loyal Winchester humans.
Our peers.
It's a good place to be.
Right?
It's not a bad place, man. It's not a bad place
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah,
Pretty
it's a
solid.
great place to be, man. Let's talk about your season. We haven't even caught up. I talked to your dad a couple weeks ago, or your uncle a couple weeks ago, but I didn't hear it from your perspective how the season was.
Well, so when you talk to Mark, that's tough to follow up
It's
because
really
his
hard.
season
Has
is
he
always
ever had
the
a
best season.
Has he ever had a bad season? Let's be honest.
Not that I recall.
Yeah.
I mean, there may have been one where it didn't go quite as planned. Maybe he went a little bit later into the season, but he's so dialed in. Those guys are such professionals, as you guys know. I mean, they're GOAT status for a reason, and it's tough to follow in those kind of you can't follow in those kind of footsteps. So, they started out of the gate, which I'm sure he talked about, probably our best year ever starting out of the gate. Mark and his team up there in Iowa and Missouri were just on fire. And then it took Terry a little bit to get rolling. He had a little slow start to the season, but we had my grandmother, so Mark and Terry's mom. I don't know if he talked about that at all.
He did a little bit, yeah.
So she came up to my dad's camp in North Missouri, and she's shooting. She's 91 years old. And she's shooting across. She was bow hunting. She was shooting a crossbow.
That's cool.
And so, he was having a real tough season up to that point, and they got her the biggest buck of her life. It was like a 157-inch. Just unbelievable.
Awesome.
And once that happened, like the floodgates opened, and they Forrest and Terry started just laying them down. So
stacking them up.
Like you would expect from the men up there. So, I like to say all that because they have great seasons pretty much every season,
year.
but it's not without a ton of work, which you guys know because you put in the same effort that it takes. But it's amazing to get to see it from behind the scenes. It seems like when you watch it, on YouTube or on TV or whatever, it seems like, the highlights. We talk about this all the time. It's the highlight of the season. But, man, there's a lot of work that goes into that. And these guys are so dialed into their seasons. They're so dialed into their deer herds and their properties and the management and, the food source and all that stuff. They just make it look easy. And let me tell you, just as you know, it's not easy.
It's not. It's not. Trying to kill mature whitetail is very hard. And they do it routinely. And that's the thing that I've always admired is how do they continue to do it every year and exceed their prior year results time and time again. It's just wild, man.
I don't know. And so I preface all that. I say all that to say I didn't have a great season.
I was going to say we got to get to your season soon enough here.
So, it's one of those things where you see what they're doing. And there's definitely a little bit of pressure like, all right, I gotta carry my load, right? I gotta pick up the pace here and try to make something happen. And anytime you're trying to make something happen, as you know, in the wild, it never happens. But I went out west, had some opportunities early, archery for elk, and didn't quite capitalize. But came back to the deer season and just picked up a new lease. I lost a lease that I had for years, which I was dialed in on. And as you know, you lose a piece and you pick up a new piece, you're starting over from scratch.
Starts from scratch.
And we got us super late, so it was like September, October till we were finally getting stands and stuff hung and cameras out. And so you're trying to identify the deer herd and what's what and what the shooters are. And I had a lease partner on it. And so I was hard after a deer during the bow season and had an opportunity the day before gun season. And shoulda, woulda, coulda, He come running out. He was locked down with a doe.
Yeah.
And he come running out because a little buck came up out of nowhere. We had sat there. It was an all-day sit. I sat there all day.
Yeah.
Didn't know he was there, but felt like he was somewhere in the area locked down. Little buck comes up. Sure enough, he comes roaring out of the timber, and he pushes that buck off. And he caught us more or less with our pants down because we hadn't seen
you weren't
squat
expecting
all
it.
day.
Yeah.
And so I get up. I'm trying to get. I'm in an elevated blind that we moved in there into a little spot, kind of tucked into the timber, tucked into cover, and trying to get windows open. And everybody says box blind hunting's easy. That's a lie because you got to get those windows open, and that's where they always catch you
in a panic mode.
And panic mode.
Yeah.
So it had him there at 35 steps. I needed like a couple more steps to get in where I had the window open. He was kind of straight to my right, and it didn't work out. So I thought, okay, he's locked on this doe. We're kind of in that lockdown part of the season. Yeah. I'm going to go back in here. Tomorrow's a new day. I got my Winchester in hand.
Yeah.
I decided to shoot, my 6.5. I had the, everything dialed in. I'm ready. I get into my blind early that next morning. I sneak in. I'm stoked.
Yeah.
I pull up the camera because we're so early. I pull up the camera, the cell cameras. I'm looking. He's a mile and a half.
My God.
Heading away off the farm. I'm like, oh, no. So then, this is the craziest part about it. The neighbor, I'm like 300 yards off the line, but, there's a lot of property kind of behind me. It just so happens this deer's core area was here. That's where I was.
Yeah.
And I was hunting tree stands in the area. It just so happened that day I was in a box blind. All of a sudden, it was kind of a nasty day.
Yeah.
Opening day of the Missouri firearm season, which you guys hunt Missouri, know.
Yep.
It's a tradition. Everybody's, it's a firearm hunting in Missouri is a big tradition.
Big deal. Yeah, it's a
so
big deal.
out of nowhere, I see it. My camera guy's like, what was that? And I see, I thought headlights on the line. I was like, what was that? I put on my binoculars, and I'm like, I think it was a side-by-side. And then we don't see the lights anymore, and we hear a gunshot. And I was like,
really?
I was like, man, that's weird. And then all of a sudden, I was like, I see him. It's Hunter Orange. I see him. The camera guy's like, he's on. He's like, that's a fire. The dude, I think just to prevent me from shooting this big deer, he come up the line, he shot his gun, and they started a fire on the windiest day of the season, the wind blowing right into our timber. And it's a lease, so I'm thinking, I'm texting the landlord, I'm like, do you know the neighbor? No. I'm like, he started a fire.
He's an arsonist. I don't know if you know that or not.
Luckily, it was wet. It just rained, day or two before, so it, but if it would have been dry conditions, it would have totally wiped us out. And so I'm like, man, this is awesome. So we get up, we go to another spot. I don't see that deer on camera in person for another 9 days.
Yeah.
7, 8, 9 days, something like that. So I decide, finally, I'm grinding it out. I've been for 3-4 weeks of the rut. Yeah. I say, you know what? I gotta go home.
Yeah, see my family.
I got a 10-year-old, 8-year-old, and my wife that really would enjoy to see me. So my wife had to work the next morning early. I was going to take the kids to school, and I was going to head right back up.
Yeah.
And it was a Friday. And I told my wife that morning, we're getting ready in the bathroom. She's getting ready for work, and she's like, thanks for coming home. I'm like, no problem. I go, but I just have this sneaky feeling that my lease partner is going to hunt, and he has every right to, obviously, of where I was hunting, and I bet he kills, we called the deer the one.
Yeah.
And sure enough, like 10 minutes later, I got a text. He's like, the one's down.
I got him.
I was like, gosh, dang it. So, you kind of dust yourself off and start again. And the deer he had been after and he had encounters with, kind of number 2 on the list.
Yeah.
So we meet up at a deer camp. And we're looking at his deer, we're measuring, we're doing all the fun stuff, you're congratulating him and all that and hearing the story. And so we say, I'm like, hey, it's getting late. I got to go back.
Yeah.
And we got to get ready for the hunt. So we go in there, and I decide, even though he had killed in this spot, I thought, you know what? The deer that he was after had been in that spot until this one kind of bumped him out.
Moved him. Yeah.
I was like, I bet he comes back there today. So we get in, 1 o'clock, for the afternoon hunt. 2:30, 3 o'clock, camera guy looks up. He's like, big buck. And I look, I didn't even have to put my binoculars up. That's him.
Yeah.
Shooter. And get the 6.8 Western out, and the Winchester ammo just packs a punch. hold him on the shoulder tight. And
Done.
They don't go far with that.
No,
6'8".
he didn't. No, and the blood trail was, especially right there, close to where he fell. The blood trail was unbelievable. They can't handle that firepower.
It's not going to work. Yeah.
So that combination, the Deer Season XP and 6.8 is deadly.
Yeah, and I think I was shooting copper impact on that one.
Yeah.
So it was the 6.8. It was the 6.8 copper impact.
Right on.
But the beauty of that is right there when it hits them, it's devastation. When I field dressed the deer, it was just total annihilation in there. The insides were just unbelievable. Gone.
Right
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. Those types of stories happen so much. Like for us, like you said, there's so much work that goes into it. So when that little thing happens, like a fire, you can't predict.
Yeah.
You're like, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
That's something I didn't think was going to happen today.
That wasn't in the card.
That was not on the checklist, right? But
moral of the story is, if you start fires to burn hunters, it doesn't work.
That's right. Yeah. So that's right.
Work.
A couple days later, we killed both those fires.
Yeah, exactly.
So don't do
Take
it.
that, fireman, if you're out there listening.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'd still love to know. I just.
Yeah.
I'd love to know the motivation of that.
Yeah. Incredible, right?
On opening day, because the camera guy is kind of a younger guy. He's like, you think he's burning leaves? They're like, no, he's not burning leaves. He's burning us out.
At 4:30 in the morning, he's out there burning leaves.
This is not, he's not out there, because it's the far back into that guy's property.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, no, he didn't just choose this spot. But that's the kind of stuff that happens, and I think people can, I don't know if they can relate to that exact instance, but stuff like that happens. Neighbors, you have neighbors, you got, everybody's hunting the same deer, and, stuff happens.
Yeah. So the one, tell me, what was he?
Well, he was deceiving, because every trail cam picture, every cell cam, we loaded up the farm with cell cameras.
Yeah.
And we were trying this new flashback camera. We use stealth cam, and we were trying this new flashback camera, so all the night pictures of this deer were beautiful. Yeah. Crystal clear, looks like full daytime. Yeah. And Terry thought, like all of us thought, this is a easy gross boon. Yeah. He was a typical 10, and I thought, this deer is going to net boon.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful.
And so Aaron, the guy I leased the property with, Aaron, he shoots the deer, and I text him, like, is he as big as we thought he was? You know, he's like, he's all right. He's pumped. It's his biggest deer ever, so he was pumped.
He's excited.
But we had amped this deer up so much in our minds. And so we get back to camp, we start measuring him, and he was a beautiful deer, biggest deer the guy ever shot, and he went 157. And we were all like, did we do something? I'm like, we're remeasuring. I'm like,
did I miss a mass measurement here?
He was a small-bodied deer.
Yeah.
And that's something that you'll run into, and you don't know until you know. But the interesting thing was the encounter that I had with him, we all still thought he was a gross boon. He just carried. It was just beautiful deer.
Yep.
100% a good shoulder, like a no-doubter.
Oh, yeah.
And so the one surprised us. I was thinking it was going to be the biggest deer either of us ever killed.
Yeah.
You know, and that's just what happened.
A lot of times, too, when you get a deer like that and you peg in your mind what you think he is,
you
move on. And when you see him, you just figure, like,
you don't study him again and again and again. You've already done it, right? So you're like, that's what he is.
That's right. Yeah. Well, and it's interesting because we had encountered that deer. I had one really good encounter on camera, but we had encountered that deer, both of us, several times in the couple weeks leading up to that, and we could just never get a good glimpse of him on camera. Yeah. And Aaron was climbing down out of his stand one day. He had only the morning to hunt, and he had to go back to work, and so he climbed down at like 12:30, 1 p.m.
Yeah.
And he climbs out, and the deer's 80 yards on a doe, and spots him, and he's just like,
frozen.
Froze there. So I go, oh, that's awesome. You finally got to see him. What do you look like? He's like, every bit of 180.
Of course he was.
So that didn't help when we were judging him either. I thought he knew.
He did.
But that's the point. You get buck fever, and man, every deer's big. That's the point, right? That's why we're going out. It really didn't matter at the end of the day what he scored. That's the first and the last time he's going to be scored. That's not why we do it. But that's kind of the fun part of the deer camp,
Absolutely.
right? Getting to kind of enjoy those emotions and experiences together.
That's right.
You guys have done it for a long time.
Those moments around the skinning shed when everybody's like, just doing what we're doing right now, but around the skinning shed is what it's all about.
Right. That's what it's about for us too.
That's
awesome,
cool, man.
Well, thanks for stopping by today.
Thanks, brother.
Thanks for checking in.
Known you guys for a long time. Love you guys.
Same, man.
Respect the hell out of you guys. So amazing stuff, man.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate it, man.
Enjoy the show.
This portion of the Winchester Life podcast has been brought to you by Winchester Pet. From the field to the front seat, the trusted name of Winchester has everything you need for the four-legged friend in your life. For all of your pet accessories, visit worldofwinchester.com. Walkers. For all your hearing protection needs, visit walkersgameear.com. The leader in hearing protection. Walkers. Folds of Honor. Providing educational scholarships to the spouses and children of fallen and disabled military service members. Honor their sacrifice, educate their legacy. To learn more, visit foldsofhonor.com.
All right, welcome back. We are live at the Winchester event at SHOT Show, and we are with Allie, Folds of Honor, and the television show, which we're going to talk about here in just a second. Thanks for joining us at this awesome event.
Thank you so much for having me. It's truly an honor to be here.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. So far, just out of the gate, how's SHOT Show been for you?
It's been so great. So I've been coming to SHOT Show for the past several years, and it's always incredible to see all the great companies and all the people who have so much in common together, whether it be, outdoorsmen of any kind, specifically hunters, people in the shooting sports, and we all share the same passion. So it's so cool to be under the same roof, with all those people.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you have a show on Sportsman Channel with your sister.
I do, yes.
We know a little bit about working together and hunting brothers. So tell us about your show and how is it working with your sister all the time?
Yes, so the name of our show is called Grace Camo and Lace, and like you mentioned, it's me and my sister on the show. She's my younger sister.
Yep.
And we both hunt on the show, we host the show, and we're currently airing season 9. So we've been, doing the show for 9 years now, but we hunt all across North America in pursuit primarily of big game.
Yep.
But it's been so awesome. We do a lot of filming back and forth of each other's hunts, and we get to spend a lot of good quality time together. So that's been some fun. A little bit of sibling rivalry, in there.
Yeah.
I know you guys probably know a little bit about that.
I've never seen that before.
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's awesome. Chris and I have been hunting together, obviously, like you guys, forever.
Yes.
Sounds like you've been shooting Winchester forever, too,
Absolutely.
just like we have.
Yeah, so we both started hunting when we were 5 years old, and ever since then we've been shooting Winchester. So
that's awesome.
It's been
That's what's special about Winchester is when you become a Winchester person, you are that for life.
100%.
And I think a lot of that starts with the passing it down. So probably someone in your family was a Winchester person, passed it down to you. You learned on a Winchester, and it just seems to stay that way, doesn't it?
100%. Yeah, that's spot on. So my grandpa, of course, we call him Papaw.
Yeah.
He passed that tradition down to my dad, and then our dad, passed that tradition down to us. So we started hunting squirrels with, 22s when we were 4 and 5 years old, and kind of worked our way up from there. So that's spot on.
That's awesome.
Folds of Honor. Let's talk a little bit about Folds of Honor.
Absolutely. So Folds of Honor, for those who aren't familiar with the organization, it's a nonprofit organization, and we provide educational scholarships to the spouses and children of fallen or disabled military service members and first responders.
Mm-hmm.
So Folds of Honor was founded in 2007 by Lieutenant Colonel Dan Rooney. He is an F-16 fighter pilot and PGA professional. And since 2007, we've been able to fund nearly 62,000 educational scholarships for our recipients.
Wow.
That's incredible.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah,
That's
amazing.
That is absolutely incredible.
62,000. Folds of Honor. I mean, we're familiar with Folds of Honor. We've worked with Folds of Honor in the past, but for our people that are listening to learn about that, I mean, what an incredible organization. I know Winchester's been a big part of that with you guys the entire time, right?
Yes, we are so grateful for our Winchester partnership and all the scholarships that Winchester has helped fund. It's been, such a blessing for those families, and we're so grateful for that.
Let's talk about how people can help participate in Folds of Honor. So if anybody's out there that just wants to know more about the organization or actually participate themselves, tell them what they can do.
Absolutely. So the number one thing that they could do is go to foldsofhonor.org. We have donation forms on there that they can fill out to donate directly through our website, but there's a lot of great events that they can be a part of. Something that we're not only a national organization, but we have chapters throughout the United States, so you can find the chapter nearest to you and get involved locally at different events, volunteer, and different donation opportunities through them as well.
Yeah. Well, I hear there's a golf event that I think if you need some scrub golfers to step in there, I always tell Jason Gilbertson that we're going to join his foursome for this golf event. That I know you have several of them, but I think there's one in our future for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah, we would love to have you guys. Of course, Folds of Honor is very involved, not only in the outdoor space, but especially in the golf space too. So we'd love to have you at any of our golf events. That would be super cool.
We'll make a deal. You have us to the golf event, and then maybe your sister and you can come to Alaska with us.
Hey, we would love that. That would be perfect. perfect. That would be perfect.
That's actually a pretty solid idea.
Yes.
It would be awesome.
Yeah, it would be
fantastic.
It would be.
That would be amazing.
Yeah. Well, Allie, thanks for stopping by.
Yeah.
And
Thank you
have
so
a great
much for
SHOT
having
Show.
me.
We've got a couple days left. Are you here for the next couple days, or are you out?
I'm here through Friday, so I'll get to enjoy all of the SHOT Show. So I'm looking forward to walking around, seeing all the booths and all the great partners and everything, and it'll be really exciting.
That's awesome.
In it for the long haul.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Thanks for stopping.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
This portion of the Winchester Life podcast is brought to you by the National Wild Turkey Federation. The NWTF is dedicated to the conservation of the wild turkey and the preservation of our hunting heritage. Since its inception in 1973, the NWTF has provided the foundation for wild turkey conservation throughout North America. Conserving the wild turkey and preserving our hunting heritage has always been, and always will be, the backbone of the National Wild Turkey Federation. Visit their website at nwtf.org to join and learn more.
Skip Knowles is with us right here at the SHOT Show party. It's the Winchester party. We're looks like it's thinning down a little bit. We're getting towards the end of it, but I wanted to talk to you about your Alaska trip. You used TSS out there, right? You were one of the first to really take it in the proving grounds.
Yep.
Tell us a little bit about that story.
We went to the ultimate proving ground, Cold Bay, Alaska. It's like right where the Aleutians start. It's an unbelievable place. There's so much opportunity. We go, waterfowling's broken down so often into where's a place with a lot of ducks? Am I going to get a lot of shooting?
Yeah.
Or is it going to be a social adventure? This thing just has everything. You know, I went to the Bering Sea and shot king eiders, and you go there for the king eiders. There's not a whole else lot to do. Yep. It's a wild adventure. We saw 30-foot waves smash into the deadliest catch harbor, and just wild stories. But that's all there is there. Cold Bay's the opposite. There's the world's best brant hunting on the giant Isenbeck Lagoon there, the endless eelgrass beds, and you see flocks of 50 to 100,000 brant. Wild opportunities there. We got multiple banded birds and had a wild adventure. And then in the afternoons, we'd go hunt ptarmigan. They were brown and white color-faced ptarmigan. Yeah. Shoot like 4 dozen in the afternoon, and went steelhead fishing with a fly rod.
Yeah.
And caught a coho salmon as late as October. And every day we were dodging brown bears. It was an unbelievable adventure. And we saw brown bears every day. And one day we pulled up. We saw one on the beach. We're like, is he kind of close to where we're going? Nah, we're going half mile down there. He disappeared. We pull up to the beach. As we're pulling up, the man in the brown uniform walks out of the grass, takes one look at us, 21-foot boat, full of guys with semi-automatic shotguns, and charges right into the water and comes for us.
Unreal.
Not
I
scared.
get the scariest photo you've ever seen.
Yeah.
And we were within 20 feet of him.
Yeah.
Not scared.
But that's also why you go to Alaska.
100%.
Like that.
Yep.
We do it every year. We've been going up there for 2-3 months, literally out of the entire season every year. And you just never know what you're going to get into.
You get to chase eagles that are trying to swoop away with your banded bird.
Yeah.
I mean,
I said this.
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
We had the same thing.
I actually said this year. We were up there. We were hunting on Kodiak, and we were hunting for. We had sea duck day one day, and I actually said I've never said this before. We have to get the ducks before the seals do.
Yeah.
And I've never said that before in my life, but we actually had to get out there and get after it because they were going to take it.
He stared me down.
Yeah.
It was me and a harbor seal. It's like, who's going to get this? My first Harley ever.
Yeah.
Such a trip. Congratulations.
I'm sitting there. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
But I'm sitting there, and it's like, all right, is it you or me? I'm like, that's my bird. Like, I'm coming out there if I have to. You know what I mean?
I got to tell you a quick story about that. I was on Kodiak 3 years ago. I smacked this one Harley. I got some guys who aren't so much duck hunters and missing lots of birds, and I'm like, okay, guys, I'm going to take the next one. It's big drake coming from the left. Pow! Flips into the water, falls 30 yards away. I ignore it because we got an onshore breeze, right?
Yeah. Come at you.
I know it's coming to me, but it's like you said. Suddenly one of the decoys starts moving. And, oh, that's a sea otter. He's kind of close to my duck.
Yeah.
And another one starts moving. I'm like, oh, that's a harbor seal, and he's kind of close to I'm going to go get my duck. And I wade out and grab it, and it's the first banded harlequin I've ever seen.
Oh my
no
God.
way.
And through all my research, it's like one of the oldest ever killed. It was like 15 years old and had been banded 13 years ago.
Man.
It's unbelievable.
That's amazing.
And you almost lost him to a harbor seal.
Harbor seal. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Never a boring moment up there with that and the weather and all the adversity. It's
And
nonstop.
you used TSS out there, and again, how did that perform based on previous experience with other
The greatest compliment I could say about TSS there was that it was so lethal on the brant.
Yeah.
And I was like, these are saltwater geese. They're nice-sized birds, about the size of a Ross's goose, 3 pounds or so. it was so lethal on the Brant that the captain, who has trouble getting supplies up there, he's like, Skipper, can you just start shooting steel and let me save that for the king eiders and the big tough sea ducks and the pack eiders that they hunt up there, because it's so much more murderous. It was obvious. It was overkill on these saltwater geese. That's a pretty big compliment.
That's in that last call stuff. We knew about it. I don't know, probably a year ago. But to see it in action, and we actually used it when we went to, Kodiak, and it was incredible.
Yeah. But the thing is, you're going to spend all that time and energy and everything to get up there. You don't want to leave anything to chance.
That's right.
Like, let's take what we can.
No.
You know what I mean? Let's knock them down.
No, like I said, the first Brant I shot up there came in slow and low, and he's alone. Boom. And it was a longer shot, 45, 50 yards, just crunch. Yeah. And turned out it had a transmitter on it in 2 bands, so it's like,
unreal.
Do you really want to scrimp on ammunition when you're having those kind of opportunities?
Exactly.
It's not snow goose ammunition.
Yep.
It works on them.
Yeah.
It does. It does work on them.
I shot the only snow that came into our duck spread in Louisiana mid-December, and it was a beautiful big blue goose with an unusual amount of white on it. And it smashed it, but it has a time
different.
and place, and you got to pick it.
Yeah, it is, and we used it late season duck in Michigan on a river that I've hunted my whole life, and a duck hole that I've shot hundreds and hundreds of ducks out of. And there's a spot where they fly on the far bank. You're like, they're out of range, so we don't usually. I'd last call TSS. I'm like, I'm gonna give it a rip. Dumped it, stone dead on the far bank,
like
65 yards, man.
Almost no cripples. I'm not going to throw the yardage out there, but a writer friend of mine on that December Louisiana hunt, I winged a duck at 60-something yards, and it sailed further, and he swatted it. We have it on the trail cam, the shot cam.
Yeah.
He held 3 feet above it, so you can guess how far that was.
And
smashed. And boom, it did the bicycle ride to nowhere.
Unreal.
It's unbelievable.
Done.
That's wild, man.
That's amazing.
And I was like, I won't talk on TV about how far that was, right?
I got one from Kodiak. I'm not going to say anything about it, but it's far. Farther than that, I was like, we'll give it a rip, right? And then I went, oh, damn.
Yeah, that's right.
So,
cool. It's a fun. It adds so much confidence to your game, and we started to mix it up. So to help the captain out, I was going to leave him a bunch of the last call because he was coveting it for sea ducks.
Yeah.
So I put in 2 steel loads when we were Brant hunting, and for my last shot, I'd use last call, follow-outer shot. That's a way to have fun with the more expensive ammunition and still enjoy it.
That's right.
Yep.
Yeah, we've started doing a little bit of that too. Yeah, it's smart.
I even do it in the turkey side. Get a 3-3 and then a 3.5 just in case.
It gets real bad.
Yeah, if I'm bad.
You don't want to shoot it, but you do it if you must.
Yeah, right.
This year, I guess, this coming year, what do you have on the books? Anything?
I haven't loaded up too much. We've had a really wildly successful video series for wildfowl. And, I had a bunch of hunts in place, including some elk hunts and stuff. And then we jammed in the video series.
Talk about that.
It's too much travel. So it's called Wildfowl Inside the Blind. And we decided rather than doing a normal linear TV 20, 30-minute show, let's do some 3 to 6 minute videos. Me and Big Jim McConville, he's a beloved character in this industry. And it came together very late in the summer, right before hunting season, and we did a teal hunt in Louisiana, a Saginaw Bay, Michigan on Lake Huron.
That's our home ground, man.
Shut up! I never heard of it. I'm the editor of Wildfowl. I never heard anybody hunting there.
Oh, it's
an
incredible.
Unbelievable place.
It's amazing.
They don't know about it. It's an incredible place.
It's literally 10 minutes.
Well, it sounds like you ruined that for us now.
I was like,
it's not that good.
Oh, I hate to be that guy. No, it was terrible. People were mean. The water was
Don't want to go back.
But it was such big public open water. They called it, the ducks are coming in off the ocean. They're coming in off the sea. I'm like, you guys are aware this is a lake, right?
Big as an ocean.
It's a really cool place, man.
It was amazing. We shot 9 species in the first morning.
That's incredible. Incredible.
Divers, puddlers, green-winged teal, scallop. It was insane.
That's what you get out there. What time did you go?
That was like the end of October.
Okay,
it was right at, I flew straight there from Alaska, so it was the very end of October.
Did you get a cold front push through at
No, And
interesting.
We had rain, and they absolutely live or die by the wind there.
100%.
Who am I talking to? They won't even go out.
It's 12 miles from my house.
I'm like, oh, it's whoa. It's 15-mile-an-hour winds. We're running. They're like, we wanted 20, 25. I mean, it's varsity stuff out there.
Oh yeah, for sure.
How far did you guys go out from shore?
I'd say 2.5 miles.
Yeah. Layouts or elevated blind?
We hunted from a boat that was a brushed over boat with a blind.
Yeah.
Cool. With an ancient motor and some really cool folks that live there.
Yeah, that's great, man. Yeah, it's a different world there. It reminds me of, Eastern Shore, going in Maryland. It's kind of like it's built into the culture out there in the Saginaw Bay area. It's a giant bay, it's dangerous. You got to know what the hell you're doing.
Yeah, we hit rocks with the motor. You had to ride it with it trimmed out. And honestly, I felt like I was on the ocean. I'm an old Florida boy too at Seattle. And grew up on the ocean. And when I jump out and there's nothing around to orient yourself like a normal duck hunt with the shoreline stumps and stuff like cattails, there's nothing but open water. And you jump out on it feels like a sandbar. I was looking subconsciously for bull sharks and stingrays. Stingrays, man. Every dark spot, I'm like, whoa. I couldn't help it. It's too ingrained, you know? It's like when you grow up and you're trained to be scared of snakes. It was like that. And I'm like, it's a freshwater lake. Calm down.
You'll be fine. You're fine. That's awesome, man.
Well, thanks for stopping, Skip. I appreciate it, man. It was great to talk to you, and good luck the rest of the show.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks,
appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
It's awesome. Thanks, guys.
This portion of the Winchester Life podcast is brought to you by Ducks Unlimited. Established in 1937 with the singular mission of conserving wetlands and grasslands for North America's waterfowl, Ducks Unlimited conserves, restores, and manages wetlands and associated habitats. 43 species of waterfowl call this continent home, requiring diverse and abundant wetlands for their populations to thrive. Ducks Unlimited and their partners have contributed to healthy duck populations in all 50 states through millions of acres of habitat restoration, enhancements, and protection. Visit their website at ducks.org to join and learn more.
Well, Mr. Gilbertson, we're at your little party here, and it's a great turnout.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd say there's at least 100, maybe more.
Let me. There's more than 150.
There's more than 150.
I know that for sure.
You know that for a fact.
Based on my conversation with Savannah. So, who runs the show?
Beautiful. You'll be fine.
We're good.
It's a great event, man.
It's a great event with great people.
Yeah, it is.
And that was the goal, right?
It is. So. Well, just walking through here, as I was going over there earlier, you hear everything from guys talking about waterfowl hunts, talking about shooting, talking about just being together, camp stories all the way through. It's just really cool to see when you get a group like this together.
Well, the great part is you just look at everybody having fun, talking. There's everybody. There's a mix of shooters. There's a mix of big game. There's waterfowlers. There's specialists in all these different shooting disciplines. So it's really cool to see everybody. And honestly, this is probably the only event all year where they're all mashed up like this.
100%. Yeah. You have Team Winchester. You have people who shoot, who hunt, organizations that we support, in Browning. They bring their whole crew. We work so close with them. So over the years at SHOT, we've held shooting events outside of the city. And we've done that for the riders and new products. And then an event like this was kind of new for us. But, again, to your point, it's a great chance for everybody to just kind of decompress, tell stories, and, say, hey, this is great. Let's start the new year and let's roll.
So, it is. It's amazing. We met with Folds of Honor. We met with, Adam, who we got a chance to hunt with up in on Long Bear on
Your hunting partner for the weekend, us three.
You were part of that. It was bad.
We tried.
We tried. We did.
All around, it was just awesome. Go ahead.
So I got to ask for SHOT. So you guys have been working on the stuff you're unveiling to these guys for years in some cases. What's that like? Like, this is the big reveal for a lot of this stuff.
You're right, too. So you put all these, meetings in place and you're doing, Zoom call or whatever. You're trying to give them a head start on what's coming, right? And then when you get here, you finally have that chance to be like, okay, it's public, go.
Here's what it's called.
And this is really the communication arm that you love to work with because they're very good at what they do. They talk about the product. They show the product. They've got experience in the field. So it is a nice, all right, take a deep breath and let's do it.
One of the things I think I love most about the people in this room is just the authenticity of what exists here. These people are the real deal in everything they do. You guys have assembled an unbelievable team.
Yeah, and there's people in here that have been part for decades. Some of them, and that's the one thing I think that's the kind of the theme of all these podcasts that people I've talked to so far is once you get with Winchester, you don't ever want to leave. You stay with them, and that's a testament to you and the team and what Winchester is and what you guys strive to be. Year over year.
There's, to your point, you see a lot of folks who are, 20, 30 years in, and they have been with a lot of product launch, teams of, engineers. But your point, there's a lot of younger people too who are coming up, and this is their first SHOT Show.
Yeah.
We've got a few people on our team. This is the first time they've been in Vegas.
Yeah.
First time they've walked a show floor.
Yeah.
And it's cool to watch it through their eyes again.
Yeah.
And then I'm thinking, oh man, I've been to quite a few of these.
Give it another
I don't know
10
how
years.
many more I got, but it's awesome. It's really fun, and being with you guys, and you do a great job. So
I knew when I was having a conversation today with somebody that said, I grew up watching you. I was like,
oh, you didn't tell me that.
I was like, oh, that's so now we're at that level. So I understand exactly what you mean on that.
The LeBron Jameses.
Exactly. He's leaving the set now.
Can't do it.
Yeah, exactly. So we're privileged to know a lot with you guys behind the scenes leading up to this, like Casey said. But for you specifically at Winchester, like what do you think is one of the most exciting things from a launch perspective? I know there's some waterfowl stuff that we had the privilege to do, some turkey stuff. What are you thinking from that side? What's something new from Winchester you're excited about?
Out of the gate, you'll go with Longbeard TSS, the new turkey load. So we're jumping into the TSS game very strong.
Yep.
You know, the one I think has a lot of cool factor is the 60th anniversary of AA SHOT Show. So, again, you dive into like the history, the heritage of just that shotgun shell has done a lot.
Yes, it has.
For a lot of people.
A lot of people.
And the number of rounds we build a year, which I won't say, it's a lot.
It's a lot.
And, you know, that's everything from, hey, I just go to my range to have buddies, you know, like fun with buddies, or I go to the Olympics. And that shell has done it all. So it's a cool timeline to just talk through. So those are two kind of out of the gate.
Yeah, I'd love to know in millions how much AA has meant to shooters around the world. I mean, I can't even fathom. It'd be something good to try and figure out. And you'd hang your hat on something like that. But
it's a lot of shells being made.
It is.
Kim Rohde's over there. She could come over and tell you how many she shoots.
I think Kim Rohde alone.
She did yesterday.
Okay.
Kim Rohde alone has shot that many. So, that's the incredible part.
You guys got some other exciting things going on with White Flyer and some of the other stuff happening.
Yeah, White Flyer has been awesome. You know, when you start looking at, you know, again, the tandem, right? So the thousands of shooting ranges across the country that had already had White Flyer. We actually had White Flyer as a brand way back in the day. I mean, that's a over 130-year-old brand.
Which is incredible.
And we kind of helped that process. But now we're back and we get to work together. Their team's awesome, our team together. So you see a lot of good synergies there. So
I think Zach and Desi said one of the biggest advantages is the shooting clubs, where they now there's things that you guys can do that you never had a chance to do before.
They have a great manufacturing kind of process, and so we learned, right? We I didn't know a whole lot about White Flyer until they came over, and now it's like, okay, I have to learn about clay targets now.
Exactly.
But
there's one other 10-year anniversary. It's not a big monumental thing, but 10 years of Deer Season XP, and I think that's a round of cartridge that kind of changed the game, I think, with the way it was constructed and engineered. Talk a little bit about that.
Well, so you guys were a part of the launch. Did a great job.
First buck kill with it.
There you go.
So on Callie's Ridge.
So we had a lot of good stories behind it, but that was at a time. Not only did the engineers do a great job, like designing a bullet for deer, but it also was kind of at a time when people, we had to do some rethinking on how people shop for ammo. So you're walking into an aisle and you're just like consumed by all these boxes and colors and things, and so I just want to see a deer on a box that helps me go deer hunting.
Make it easy.
So the technology, top notch, but then also we kind of applied the marketing and the thinking of packaging and Ryan Kirby and his art. It all comes together in 10 years.
Speaking of Ryan Kirby, he sent me a video today. He was throwing BP. Did you see it?
Yes, I did.
He's throwing BP to his kid, and he took one in the forehead.
Oh, no.
I said, you got to stay behind that screen, dude. They're getting older.
That's what I said, Blood all over.
It's getting hot now. Exactly.
Hopefully it doesn't affect his artistic, but no. So, but you guys, you always do very good with all of our launches and all of our content. That drives a lot of eyeballs and a lot of excitement.
The stories are there to tell, and I think that's one thing that I love most about the brand. brand, having been a Winchester guy since I was this big.
Yeah.
Just the history that exists, the commitment to quality, commitment to innovate. You guys make it easy to tell great stories.
Yeah, and I think coming up this year, there's other exciting things that are on the horizon that
we'll tease that a little bit.
I think he's still trying to get through shot, and then it's like, okay, then we'll talk about it.
No, it's time.
Let's just get through tonight. Let's figure out tonight. So, all right. We appreciate it.
JG, thanks for stopping by, man.
Enjoyed it.
Appreciate it.
On to the next.
Good luck with the rest of these people at this event. Send some people over.
Talk to the
I told him when I was out there, the doors are open. You start sending people.
I know there's people like you helping me out.
Should we not have done that? That's crazy.
You guys, Max, we got the strip behind us.
Yeah.
You guys
You're very social people. I appreciate it.
Come on in, guys.
Come on in. It's on Winchester.
Yeah. Oh, that's federal ammo. Yeah, come on in.
I'm going to go do this now.
He's done. Thanks.
Now I'm off.
Thanks, JG.
Thanks, man. Well, guys, that's a wrap, man. That was fun.
Yeah, it was a blast. This party, this Winchester party, what they do here, it's really the one time a year where we all get together, listen to the stories, listen to the successes in the field, and kind of see the fruits of Winchester's labor, right? They're constantly designing and innovating. Everybody gets together and talks about what went down. I love this party.
Everything about it is amazing. Now we get to go over there. I see all these guys. I'm like, we got to catch up. We got to talk stories. We got to talk hunting.
Yeah.
There's some booze to be had over there at the bar and some food. So, but yeah, all in all, it's just so amazing what they do here. They are truly the American legend. This is why Winchester is Winchester. So,
well, let's close her down, boys. Let's drop the headsets down and let's finish SHOT Show.
Strong.
Right.
Strong. We're finishing strong. Thanks for watching, listening, all the good stuff. Winchester Life. Nice job, JB. We'll see you guys.
Thanks, boys. Appreciate it.
The Winchester Life podcast is brought to you by Winchester Ammunition, Winchester Repeating Arms, Winchester Safes, White Flyer Targets, Folds of Honor, Birchwood Casey, Walkers, Winchester Pet, and Winchester Optics. Hey, thanks so much for listening to this week's show. Please make sure you click the follow button on your podcast apps so you never miss a new episode. This episode was produced by Aaron Cox and Jason Gilbertson, engineered by Jason Freer, directed by Chad Andrus, written and edited by Jason Brown, with behind-the-scenes photography by Kelsey Myers. I'm Jason Brown, and you've been listening to the Winchester Life Podcast. See you next time.